Hey friends, Gary here. As some of you guys might already know, I'm a big fan of micro four thirds camera format. However, I have some other camera formats including the Sony E-Mount APS-C. One thing about Sony E-Mount that I really love compared to micro four thirds is that there are plenty of options for ultra budget, large aperture, full autofocus lenses. Now with micro four thirds, which I love so much by the way and is my primary camera format, we don't have that much option for this kind of lens. This is sorely needed. Anyway, in today's video, I want to share my thoughts and experience of one example of an ultra budget lens with large aperture and full autofocus, and this guy is for Sony E-Mount. This is the TTArtisan 56mm f1.8 autofocus lens. This video will be from a perspective of a micro four thirds shooter, and hopefully by watching this video you'll be able to decide whether the TTArtisan 56mm f1.8 autofocus lens for E-Mount is the right lens for you or not. Quick disclaimer, TTArtisan actually sent me this lens for free for a review. However, all of the opinions in today's video are my own. Nobody paid me to say anything, and I'll try to be as objective as I can. If you guys are interested in learning more about this lens and purchasing one, make sure you check out the links on the description below. Once again, I just wanna make sure that you guys understand that I am trying to be very careful with these sorts of collaboration. I won't feature products that don't align with my camera gear philosophy. So all of the things that will be mentioned in my channel, all of these collaboration products will be the ones that I will actually use in the field. Now let's begin by quickly mentioning basic specification of this guy right here. So let's start with the focal length. 56mm, that is medium telephoto. I think that is great for detail shot, for distant landscape photography, product shots, and of course for portrait photography. A little bit of street photography can work as well. Stay tuned on this video because later on I will show some sample pictures taken using this nice little lens right here. Next, this lens has a large f1.8 aperture, and that obviously helps with both low light performance, so you can get faster shutter speed in that situation, and also to get more background blur or better bokeh. Now, autofocus with this lens, which is the big selling point for this particular ultra budget lens, is actually performing really well, and that makes me happy. However, one thing to note is that the minimum focusing distance, which is about 50 centimeters, is not actually that close. So for close-up shots, that kind of stuff, you need to be mindful of this limitation. Build quality of this lens is actually very good. It feels very solid and robust. I think this is made from metal with some reinforced plastic here and there, and it just feels very confident in the hand. However, being an E-mount lens, it is actually a little bit big and heavy, especially for my personal taste. I'm very used to micro four thirds size lens, so yeah, this feels again a bit bulky and heavy, and that makes me appreciate micro four thirds more. But I digress. Let's continue with this lens. Fortunately, the design of this lens is actually really cool. It feels industrial, minimalistic. There's not a whole lot of things going on. It's just very clean and slick, and I like it. Especially the TTArtisan logo now looks really cool. It's using a more straightforward kind of fonts on the text. Unlike before, they were using, script letters, and that doesn't feel modern at all for me. So now with this improved design, I think this is much better. This lens actually comes with this funny looking lens hood that actually works, and also it comes with this rear cap that actually has USB-C plug. I think this is for upgrading firmware on this lens. Enough about specification. Now let's talk about the image quality of the TTArtisan 56mm f1.8, and in this portion of the video I will share sample pictures taken using this lens. Hopefully these pictures will speak for themselves in terms of how the lens is performing in terms of image quality. But right away, sharpness, I can say that it is very good. Everything looks detailed. Even if you shoot wide open at f1.8, you can see plenty of details, and that is great. However, if you want maximum sharpness, especially frame to frame, corner to corner, you can always stop down a little bit to about f2.8 or f4 for that optimum sharpness across the frame. Most of the pictures that I'm sharing right here were taken wide open at f1.8 aperture, and yeah, I don't feel like I need to stop down at all unless I want to have more focus across the frame. But even at wide open, again, I just feel like the lens is already performing really well, and that is a fantastic job. Most of ultra budget lenses at this price level, they won't be performing at this level of sharpness, especially wide open at their maximum aperture. Contrast, I think, is also pretty good with this lens. Again, wide open at f1.8, I don't see any lack of contrast, and that is also very rare for ultra budget lens of this price category. So I think TTArtisan really did a great job with the design of the optical performance of this lens. Now let's talk about the background blur quality or the bokeh of this lens. And being a lens with large apertures such as this guy, I think it's just very important for us to understand the quality of the bokeh. For me personally, I think the quality of the bokeh is very average. It is good but not amazing. What happened is that when you have autofocus area, usually the background that is very textured, that has lots of details such as leaves or trees, then you will see that the bokeh will have that sort of a busy look. You know, you have plenty of contrast going on the bokeh. It just doesn't look smooth and buttery, but that is to be expected with lenses of this price level. And for me personally, I think it is still very acceptable. Backlight performance, ghosting and flare are kept really minimal with this lens, especially for real world usage. I mean, you can try really hard to aim your lens into different sources of bright lights to get that purple bluish streaks of flares, but for real world usage, I think it is pretty acceptable. Now that you've learned about the image quality as well as the performance of this lens, I want to mention some things, my observations and my thoughts and my wishes of this lens, the TTArtisan 56mm f1.8. First of all, I'm very happy with the image quality and performance of this guy. I think it is fantastic, especially for the price. As you guys can see on the sample pictures, I think they all look good. If they don't look good, then maybe that's a user error. Maybe I'm the one who needs to increase my photography skill. But if I need a lens with medium telephoto focal length, large aperture on my Sony E-Mount camera, which is currently the Sony ZV-E10, then I will definitely reach for this guy. However, as I mentioned before, I am primarily a micro four thirds shooter. Not that I don't use my Sony E-Mount camera, which is currently the ZV-E10. Sometimes I will take out my ZV-E10 out into the field and try to come up with compositions and try to take some photographs and have fun with it. But for that purpose, I actually use my micro four thirds camera much more frequently than my E-Mount camera. And that's why I wish that options like this guy will be available in micro four thirds later on. Getting an ultra budget lens for Sony E-Mount camera which has large aperture and autofocus is not difficult at all. There are plenty of options, this guy being one of them, but for micro four thirds it is actually not easy at all. I mean, there are some options from Sigma, some options from Yongnuo, but other guys, they are mostly just manual focus. So in the future, I hope more third-party manufacturers will consider micro four thirds more, and they hopefully will start making ultra budget lenses with large aperture and also full autofocus capabilities for micro four thirds camera format, which I love very much. Anyway, if you guys are using Sony E-Mount camera and you want a medium telephoto lens with large f1.8 aperture and full autofocus, then you should consider the TTArtisan 56mm f1.8. I think this is a good option. I think you will be happy with it. And that wraps up today's video. That is all of my thoughts and experience of using the TTArtisan 56mm f1.8 autofocus for Sony E-Mount camera. Hopefully this video has been interesting, useful, entertaining, and informative. So please let me know on the comment down below, what is your favorite medium telephoto lens to use for your camera format of choice? Let me know on the comment down below. And if you have any questions about today's video, feel free to comment down below as well. I will try my best to answer them. Also, don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel down below. And if you want to support my work even further, consider using the affiliate links on the description below. Use the super thanks button to make a small donation to my channel, and also you can purchase my travel photography ebook called Simplifying Travel Photography with the link also in the description. Thank you, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.